Hey YouTube, today we're going to be making a little bit of a different video. Today we're going to be discussing eye area, cheekbones, and brow ridge all together as a whole. Because I feel like there's a certain lack of this topic on YouTube. You could definitely find this information on the internet, but a lot of it is old documents like 1970s and stuff that people have discussed before, but nobody really took it seriously, because nobody really cares. Nobody cares why you look the way you do. More people care about how to change it than they care about why it's even happening in the first place. And I personally find this topic very interesting. And I have an image pulled up here, and you can just see the different skull shapes for the races. So we truly are different, but that's not what I'm going to talk about today. Today I'm going to talk about when it comes to female attraction, and their primitive female attraction. One of the most important things to have is high cheekbones, and that goes for females and males. They're a lot of times considered very higher class. French people have them, and France is the country of love and romance, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, of course, but it's a very highly sought after trait, and a lot of people want to know how to change them. And truthfully, there's not a lot of things you can do. There's really not a lot of things you can do. And if you guys want to find that out, I'm not going to be discussing how to change it or what to do to modify it in this video. I'm simply going to be discussing why it's attractive, why it's superior, and that's about it. But first of all, I would like to point out that having high cheekbones is majorly important for your overall health and your overall protection. And let me just say this right now, okay? If you were to get punched in the face, alright, and it's gonna happen. One of these days, you are simply gonna get punched in the face by some crazy guy on the street, by a fight. There's many ways it's gonna happen, and it is going to happen. As humans, we face adversity, and fights tend to be one of those adversities that we have to face down the road. I've been in multiple fights, but that's besides the point. When you have the higher cheekbones, you are protecting one of your most important features. One, for your looks, and two, for your survival. Because what the hell are you going to do without your eyes? Okay, what are you going to do when you're walking around blind, Without civilization, all blind people would be dead. And it's as simple as that. So, and high cheekbones tend to protect your face. They protect your eyes. They protect the socket. And another huge thing about this, another huge thing that protects your eyes, is your orbital vector. And this is one of the biggest things when it comes to looks and when it comes to health as well. As you guys can see, this guy right here this guy or girl, I have no idea, it kind of looks like a girl. Horrible under eye support. Horrible. If this person were to get a punch right to the eye, their eye would be severely damaged. Very, very damaged. This person's eye, this is an extreme case, by the way. This is day to day. You're really not going to see people that have eye areas as bad as this right here. Her under eye area is swelling up. His under eye area is swelling up to protect the eye. And that's really bad. As you can see, there's no bone structure either. But if this person were to take a hit to the eye would be severely damaged. But, and this one as well, as you can see, very big eyes as well. huge eyes. When you tend to have a negative cantal tilt, or negative orbital vector, actually, that's what it's called. You tend to have a lot less protection. Your eyes look big. Okay, so now let's say you had a positive orbital vector. Let's see if I can find a video or a picture or something like that. Now look at this. I know who this eye is because I've seen this video before, I think. But this is David Gandy. This is David Gandy when he was young. David Gandy looks... Look at how David Gandy looks now. I mean, still looks good and everything, but... This is him when he's young. As you can see, he has no dark circles under his eyes. I mean, he is tan, of course. His cheekbones, this is the end of his cheekbones right here. Or this is the highest part of his cheekbones. Right here. And he has pretty good under eye support. There's a tiny bit of baggage. This is human though, you know, this is human. And I mean not everybody's gonna have the perfect looking face. I mean, you could just give up on that right now, truthfully. But David Gandy, when he was young, he could definitely take a hit, you know. He could definitely take a hit now, probably too. But you can see, like, attractive faces are healthier faces, but they're also more protected faces. So all in all, attractive faces, although what one person may consider attractive and another may be entirely different, the left side, this right here, is considered attractive universally. If you have that, then these are attractive features. It doesn't make you attractive, okay? But it's still, man, whatever. I forgot what I was gonna say. I forgot I was gonna wrap that up. But he could take a punch. He's healthy looking and everything. And another thing is a brow ridge. The brow ridge. You know, when we were back in the days, like, I mean, this is a Neanderthal or whatever, and you could obviously tell that they had some pretty big foreheads. I mean, and in a way, I guess we de-evolutionized, because what that big forehead also did was protect you. And in a way, your nose kind of does, but, you know, not so much. But that forehead would protect you from a blow, an external blow. A very important part, very underrated. But a lot of white people have it. I mean, Jason Momoa has it, and look at him. He's a he's a Samoan. He's not fully white. I mean, I'm not gonna say that only white people have it, and this is, I'm not gonna explain beauty and superiority in a way that makes it seem like only white people can have these. But it you know, it tends to be that, I guess in our skull shape, I showed you guys earlier, but I think it's just the way that our skulls are shaped, you know. So, but these are very, very important when it comes to protection and having lower brow, you know, having a lower brow, one that protects your upper eye a little bit more. So that's very, very important. And I mean, as you can see, this guy kicked Conor McGregor's ass, man. I remember seeing it. I was disappointed. But for some reason, alright, man, when I saw his face, you can just kind of tell. Because look, this guy is a prime example of all three of the traits that I just listed off. All three of them. Protruding eyebrow ridge, positive cantal tilt, or not positive cantal tilt, but positive orbital vector, and high cheekbones. High, and actually he has a pretty wide bone structure. So as you can see, I mean, it's more like a neutral. a neutral cancel or a neutral orbital vector, but it's still good. It's still good, and it is cheekbones. And then you make up for the lack of positive orbital vector. But this guy can take a punch. His bones are protecting him. His bones are protecting his eyes, and his most important part of his face is protected. He's also got a pretty big jaw as well, but jaw isn't as important when it comes to fighting, okay, as the eye area is. It's not as important. Maybe the chin, if you had a broader and just a better chin, because if you've ever seen Baki, okay, if you've ever seen the anime Baki, the main character, likes to hit people's chins exactly because it rattles around their brain. But it tends to be the weakest part. But there's really no advantage to having a bigger jaw, and that's why I'm not really going into depth in this video about it. But I mean, this guy has high fighting success written all over his face. And some people, I think I saw an article around here, said it was like he was the most intimidating fighter ever. But very important. I mean, he's definitely not the best looking man, and that's the thing, is these are attractive features to have. Of course, they're attractive features to have, but it does not make you attractive. But from a fighting standpoint, from a primitive standpoint, I'm sure a woman would much rather have somebody that looks like this than somebody, with a recessed orbital vector, somebody that doesn't have any bone structure protecting their important parts. Much rather, primitively. Okay, so it's something to consider. Like I said, there's not a lot of things to do about it. A lot of it is pretty genetic, and it tends to stay genetic. In a lot of areas, there's nothing you could do, man. There's really nothing you could look into surgery, but of course it's not always going to look the best. And this is stuff that I don't want you guys to go to sleep or to look in the mirror and get angry at. Because like I said, I mean, this guy isn't attractive, and we live in a society nowadays where this isn't really important. This isn't important. If you were to become an MMA fighter, of course, you would want these facial features to be a winner. And, I'm sure hard work and everything could definitely beat this guy. Skill, maybe martial arts or whatever, but this guy's trained. He's got the genetics and everything. But man, just don't worry about this stuff. This is stuff that you think about. You don't really have to think about it at all. Like, you could watch this video and you can be like, all right, well, that's cool. I just watched a video about what makes somebody be able to fight better than the others, and luckily we have things like guns. Okay. So, I mean, if Khabib Nurmagomedov, however you pronounce his name, were to come at me and try to kick my ass, luckily I have a gun. All right, and it's as simple as that. So you don't need these things. You don't need to fight. You don't need to box nowadays, man. It's all about a gun, and that's, I'm not gonna say it's a good thing, but it protects the weak. So, I mean, that's about it for this video, though, boys. I mean, I really don't have anything else to talk to you guys about. If you want to look up this information a little bit more, feel free. But there's not a lot on YouTube. You'd have to look at like documents and stuff on Google if you want to see these things. But I mean, if you guys want to know more about, if you guys ask some questions about, I don't know, really anything about, I guess facial appearance and stuff like that, I could probably tell you why it is and how it benefits or whatever. But as far as I'm concerned, this is all I really want to put out, because like I said, there's a supreme lack of it. There's really a lack of it, and people need to understand this stuff. Well, I guess actually people don't really need to understand it, but it's good information to have. It's really good information to have, and new knowledge is always good knowledge. But that's going to wrap it up. And peace out, boys.